January the 25th. Thanks so much for being with us. We continue to follow the latest developments of the U.S. Supreme Court. Justice Stephen Breyer announced his retirement earlier this afternoon. His retirement leaves an empty seat to fill on the 9-member bench of the High Court. President Biden made a comment about the candidate he will announce to replace Breyer.
Choosing someone to sit in the Supreme Court, I believe, is one of the most serious constitutional responsibilities a president has. Our process is going to be rigorous. I will select a nominee worthy of Justice Breyer's legacy of excellence and decency. While I've been studying candidates' backgrounds and writings, I've made no decision except one. The person I will nominate will be someone with extraordinary qualifications, character, experience, and integrity. And that person will be the first black woman ever nominated to the United States Supreme Court. It's long overdue in my view. I made that commitment during the campaign for president, and I will keep that commitment. I will fully do what I said I'd do.
President Biden says he expects to name a nominee by the end of February. Justice Breyer also talked during President Biden's announcement about his retirement and the work of the Supreme Court.
Of course, people don't agree. But we have a country that is based on human rights, democracy, and so forth. But I'll tell you what Lincoln thought, what Washington thought, and what people today still think. It's an experiment. It's an experiment. That's what they said.
This is one of those instances where all of a sudden the dialogue in Washington, D.C. changes in a flash. And attorney Terrance Evans is standing by right now to discuss this with us. Terrance, thanks so much for being with us. Ultimately, Justice Breyer stepping down does not change the landscape of the High Court, of course, leaning more conservative, even if his replacement is liberal. I'm wondering, Terrance, what do you have to say to people who say this is just symbolism?
I think it's a lot more than symbolism, and thank you so much for having me. I think facing the political headwinds that the Democratic Party is facing with the potential loss of the Senate, there is some concern that if Justice Breyer did not retire at this moment while Democrats still have control, that a Republican-controlled Senate might prevent President Biden from nominating anyone who was progressive to the court. So I think it's important to, at a minimum, preserve the status quo and also put someone in place who has the same vision that Justice Breyer has and the legacy that he has built over the course of his time on the High Court.
And of course, we heard it from President Biden himself just moments ago. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I know there have been a number of different potential nominees that have been part of the discussion, but I'm sure you'll probably get to that in a moment.
Yeah, we want to talk about all of that. I do want to go back to what President Biden said himself about his campaign promise to appoint a black woman in the event that one of the seats opened up. That is facing backlash from some. I want to talk about that, Terrance. My colleague Charles Blow actually weighed in on this. I'd like you to take a listen.
Sure.
Making promises like this did not start with Joe Biden, did not start with a Democrat, did not start with black women. In 1980, when Ronald Reagan was in trouble with women for not supporting the Equal Rights Amendment, he made the exact same promise. He promised that he would appoint a woman to the U.S. Supreme Court, and that is how we got the first woman ever to sit on the bench, who was Sandra Day O'Connor. Do not start this foolishness by pinning this on these black women, or pinning this on Joe Biden, or pinning this on Democrats for being woke or being for affirmative action. Your patron saint, Ronald Reagan, was the originator of this tactic.
All right, what do you think about that, Terrance?
So there's no secret that black women have been the backbone of the Democratic Party for generations and were largely responsible for many of the victories that President Biden had in the South and other parts of the country. I think it's overdue for black women to be recognized in this way And there's no question that there are many qualified black women who can ably serve on the United States Supreme Court. If we look historically, no one has ever questioned when someone who happened to be a white man served on the court. And for many, many decades, for over 100 years, we only had white men serving on the court. It's only now that there is some criticism once we try to make the court look a bit more like America. So I say it's overdue. I believe that black women have long deserved a seat on the high court, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to have a black woman on the court. And there are many candidates. Some of them have been part of the discussion, of course. DC Circuit Court Judge Ketanji Brown, who was a former clerk of Justice Breyer, who served 8 years as a district court judge, and now is on the court that has been the launching pad for many of her colleagues on the court. Also, of course, California Supreme Court Justice Leandra Kruger, who served both in the Bush administration and the Obama administration, and has argued 12 cases before the High Court, which may be the most of any black woman in U.S. history. And I like to throw some California judges in the mix that have not been as much part of the conversation. Justice Terrance J, who was the first black woman to serve as a Superior Court judge, and now the first black woman presiding judge of the California Court of Appeal First District. I think she would be a great choice. Also, we have Judge Holly Thomas, who was recently confirmed by the Senate to serve as a district court judge in the Ninth Circuit. So lots of very talented, capable black women who could easily step in this role and do great work.
Yeah, I love the fact that we have so many amazing black women to choose from. And as Charles Blow said, stop the foolishness. This originated with Ronald Reagan. I thought he put it so well. Terrance, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you being with us here on BNC. And our eyes are on Florida now. A recent proposal, Governor DeSantis